just kind of standing there staring at like Katie's nasty, like dirty, disgusting body because they didn't even wipe her ass down.
No grief, no shock, just distance. Moments earlier, he tried to soften the story.
I'm going through the same fucking shit. I lost a friend. Maybe not the best wife. That's the way we've seen it. We just the worst couple.
Then came the quiet pressure.
Have you ever, and it would probably jokingly, I would assume, made a statement to any of your friends about wanting to kill Katie?
No, absolutely not.
Immediate, firm, rehearsed. But John wasn't the only voice in this story. When investigators turned to Hannah, the tone shifted.
So who was that relationship with on Sunday?
It was with John, but we're not like in a relationship. Like, we're not dating. I just have a good relationship with him.
This is where the psychology begins. Detectives weren't chasing a confession. They were comparing emotional truth. One person distancing himself from the victim, the other unable to even face her. This is one of the most interesting cases I have ever covered. A case where the main suspect kept hiding from the police until that one day where everything was exposed. Thanks to the law enforcement agency for providing us the footage of this case. We are trying our best to improve our content, so your review means a lot to us. It was the early hours of a cold October night in 2016, just past midnight, when a frantic 911 call shattered the silence.
Simpsonville 911, what's the location of your emergency?
I'm at Discover Church across from it in the woods.
You're at Discover Church across from where?
In the woods across from it.
I
was worried about my friend, Katie, and she went missing. She's been missing for a while now, and she came in this house that we used to hang out in, and she's been there. She's not alive.
What's wrong with her, sir?
She's not alive.
She run away?
No, ma'am. We found her in this house, not alive.
You found her what?
We found my friend Katie Boyder dead in the house.
Okay. In other words, she's dead in the. Are you saying she's dead in the house?
Yes, ma'am.
A damp chill hanging in the air as fog lightly settled over empty roads. Two young voices, panicked and barely coherent, pleaded with dispatchers. They found something inside an abandoned house off a narrow, overgrown road. Something terrible. Minutes earlier, the pair had been part of a desperate search for a 22-year-old woman who never returned home after finishing her evening shift at a local pet supply store. By 11:30 p.m., when her phone went silent and she failed to answer repeated calls, her family knew something was wrong. Following a gut instinct, the two friends checked a rundown property known locally as a hangout spot. The house stood isolated, its windows broken, its structure decaying. Inside, the air was stale. As they moved cautiously through the darkened rooms, they noticed signs of disturbance, drag marks, debris out of place. Then in the basement, they saw it, a crude concrete structure, recently disturbed. When they looked closer, the reality set in. The missing woman had been concealed inside. A knife remained lodged in her neck, evidence of a brutal, deliberate killing. Her body had been hidden, as if someone believed time and concrete would erase what had happened. By the time officers arrived, the scene had already begun telling its story. This was not random. This was personal, and as investigators would soon realize, cops didn't know where to start from, so they went to the Army base to reveal the news of murder to the husband, John.
So with that in mind, are you willing to talk to us today?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. What I have to do is read your rights. We've been doing that with everybody we've been talking to because, anybody could potentially be a suspect.
Right.
So with that in mind, right now, are you under the influence of any drugs or alcohol?
No.
Okay. All right. And you live at 10 South Kings Drive, Fountain Inn?
Yes.
Okay. All right, John, what I can do is give you this identical form that I'm reading. It's just your rights. It's kind of like you've seen on TV and stuff before. I know you've had some previous minor run-ins with the law. All I can tell you is keep an open mind. We're going to treat you fairly and respectfully.
Okay.
and just ask for your cooperation and honesty. So try not to let these past instances, jade you or anything like that.
The detective begins by reading John his rights, but does it calmly and professionally. This changes the atmosphere without open accusation. John is reminded that anything you say could be used against you, yet the detective still frames the talk as cooperative. Psychologically, this uses authority priming, making the suspect feel the seriousness of the room while still encouraging him to keep talking.
Yeah, so that's kind of how we met. We just, we both smoked cigarettes at the time, so we just went out and smoked.
Okay. Yeah.
You just meet people through smoke breaks.
And you got married in what year?
2015.
And so I know obviously about the incident that happened between you guys allegedly in January, and then she didn't file a report till February.
Yeah.
What made her file a report a month later about something that
That was just kind of her personality.
just get back at you for something she pissed or?
Mm-hmm. That was her personality. When she got mad about something, she would act extremely childish until she got her way, and if she didn't get her way, she would just escalate until she got her way.
And they believed her about something that happened a month before?
I got arrested for it.
That's what I'm saying. It's kind of strange.
Whether or not they believed her, I still went away in handcuffs, and I still had to get bailed out of fucking county. And
Yeah.
so, whether or not they believed her, there wasn't no. It was just a statement.
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's just he said, she said. And
Yeah, I went away for it, and then yeah, she moved out like the Monday or Tuesday. She moved out in the early week, and by the end of the week, she was back, like with her mom, like clearing out all of her shit. And then when I said, okay, like, bye. Because we had played that game before where she left. She would always come back.
Yeah.
Well, most of the time she would leave, I would beg her to come back, and she would come back. And then we'd make it another 2 or 3 weeks. And then she would leave, and then I'd beg her to come back.
At this stage, John presents the relationship as messy, but mutual. Notice how he normalizes constant arguments and shifts blame to bad timing. This is a subtle deflection tactic, minimizing prior violence while distancing himself from responsibility.
Like a few months ago.
What was your feelings towards her?
I mean, I've always seen her as like a friend because like I lived with her for a little bit.
Right.
She always told me that she was like here for me if I ever needed anything. When she went to the Carolina Center, I actually like convinced her to go get help with somebody because I've had like experience with that kind of stuff before.
Okay.
She moved out, took all her shit, came back, moved out again. I told her that time, just stay gone this time because I don't want you ruining my shit. You're ruining everything in my life. Please stay away. Came back like a week later with the police.
So you guys weren't married long at all.
2 months.
So it's kind of
2 months, and then we made it until fucking March. I called her the night. I know I wasn't supposed to. Don't care. Called her the night I got out of jail, and she sat there and cried on the phone. And she was like, "I didn't know that you were gonna go to jail." And I told her it's okay. I forgive you. I'm a very forgiving guy. I don't give a shit. I can get over this. I know who she was. She had the shortest fuse on the phone. It wasn't even a fuse. It was one of those things you just pull it. It just fucking explodes. That was her personality. That's the personality. That's the person I knew. And I told her it's okay. That's fine. I'll take you back. I don't care. Let's just move on. And that lasted about 2 more months. Probably till about the end of April into June. Or I guess that would have been May. Yeah. Like end of April, into May. And she was like, that's when people started coming around the house. Like the Fountain Inn Police Department was like coming around the house looking for her. And I got nervous because I have a restraining order. So,
right.
And I don't got family down here. She could leave. She could go to her mom's or her dad's and have some. I don't have anywhere to go. So I was sleeping in my car. Because I got a no contact order with her at work too. So I can get in trouble 2 different ways.
No way.
The military can put me on Fort Jackson. They can put me in jail in Fort Jackson for 30 days.
Here, John admits to past anger and a drinking problem, but frames it as something he's already fixed. This is a classic reformed image tactic. Acknowledge past flaws just enough to appear honest, while distancing from the present crime.
Would she ever like drive by your house or anything?
Yeah, and
Just to see what you're doing? Or?
I saw her a couple times, just her car, and that could have been for a couple reasons. I mean, she could have been seeing somebody else in the neighborhood. I don't know, but I saw her car a couple times, and then I heard stories that she was like coming up to the door for my roommate and stuff. Come to like, my roommate got a cat. She wanted to come see the cat. She wanted to come see my dog, so she tried to get my roommate to take my dog out of the house.
Who's this, Crystal?
Yeah.
Okay.
So just hearing it, she never came and bothered me. She never did that. She wouldn't like come and like, you know, if I was there and like bang on the doors and shit. But she was still coming by the house. And I don't know why. But we broke contact because she was dating already. Like she's already been dating dudes. So I'm like, just move on. Like leave me alone.
Right.
But I still get random texts, you know, in the morning. I look good today. I love you. Shit like that.
Was she trying to get back with you? Or
I couldn't really give you a good answer on that. My intention was to get back together with her.
Still? Really?
Yeah, at the end of this. Whenever my civil court was done, that's the last thing I told her, was that when this shit's all done and over with, I just want you to be there for me in that courtroom, and I will walk away from that courtroom with you.
When you say it's civil court, you talk about
The charge from
the
February.
criminal case?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what was going on with the military? Were they waiting to see what happened with that?
Yeah.
So that's why they had you over on Bargery Street
Right.
kind of doing administrative stuff.
They,
And then once that case got cleared, if it got cleared, then you'd
if,
be reassigned or?
if it was like dismissed, cleared, yeah, they would have just sent me on the way.
Mhm.
If something came of it, then they would have continued their investigation to see what they wanted to do about it.
Okay.
Probably just kick me out, more than likely.
When asked about Katie's life, John quickly mentions her dating other men. This is important. Detectives aren't asking about jealousy, but he introduces it himself, revealing a motive rooted in resentment and loss of control.
Is that, I mean, I've never been in the military, so I don't know how it works, but if you get charged with something serious enough, they just discharge you?
Most of the time, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, especially if it's a guilty verdict, they'll just dishonorably discharge you.
Okay.
So, and that's like the worst thing that could happen. It's like walking out the door with 2 felonies instead of 1.
And I'm sure it's a lot of pride issue too, right?
Yeah. I mean, you know, 10 years of my life and 2 years in Iraq.
Yeah.
Walk out the door. But I mean, and I told her, I said, fuck it, it's already done. They can do what they want. But the last thing I told her was when there's a disposition, if it's not guilty and I get to walk out of that courtroom, I want to walk out with you. And she said that was fine. She said that's good. That's what I want too. And that was like 2 months ago.
So what was the status with the case? How close was it coming to go to court or, you know?
My lawyer got the solicitor to allow me to apply for PTI for the whole charge. So I got denied from that. I don't fucking know. I got denied from PTI. So now I'm just waiting. I haven't heard anything. I guess my thing went to the bottom of the pile again to recycle back to the top.
Right, yeah. It's a slow.
And, you know, it took from March to June to get, okay, let's apply for PTI.
Yeah.
And then, oh, by the way, we rejected you.
Is that a public defender or paid?
No, I was a paid lawyer. Yeah. Didn't want to take no chances with a felony charge.
Yeah, I understand that.
The detective carefully asks about the military investigation, possible discharge, and felony consequences. Does not say, you killed her because she threatened your career. Instead, he lets John explain how serious the situation was. This uses motive elicitation, where the investigator guides the suspect into revealing what he stood to lose.
All right. Moving forward, so she moves out. You move Crystal and Brandon in to help out with bills or whatever?
It was pretty soon after they actually moved in, yeah.
Okay. Any other roommates?
Hannah was living there for a little bit.
Hannah Thompson?
Yeah. While Katie was there, Hannah was going through some shit at home, so she asked Katie if she could move in. She said, yeah, we moved all her shit in. Wayne was still there, and then Wayne then Katie left before Wayne got in his car accident. So she left, and then Wayne left, and then Crystal moved in, and then Hannah moved out. And now it's just us and Crystal.
Okay. How did you guys meet Hannah? Was it a friend of Katie's or yours?
Friend of Cheyenne.
Okay. And you and Cheyenne are pretty tight, right?
Well, you used to be.
Oh, you're not now? Because of this crowd?
Because of this, yeah.
Okay.
I haven't heard from Cheyenne. I tried to talk to Cheyenne on Tuesday, Tuesday was the last time I talked to Cheyenne, and then she just dropped me off the face of the planet. So, kind of shows who your real friends are.
Yeah.
The detective brings Hannah into the timeline without making it sound accusatory. Once John confirms Hannah lived with him and was around during this period, the case becomes more than a failed marriage. It becomes a triangle involving jealousy, control, and replacement. This connects to triangulation theory, where conflict intensifies when a third person becomes part of an unstable relationship. Suspicious.
When you ask somebody specifically for help because you are not in a good place and they blow you off completely, but you know they're out there having fun with friends.
Yeah.
She's not grieving right now. She's out partying right now. So you could at least text. She could at least text me back. You know.
Yeah, I don't have an answer for that.
And then I already had to avoid the viewing. I had to go on Sunday by myself because her whole family was there. And if I can't even get Cheyenne, who lived with me and who I bought cars for and school books for and sent to and pushed to get a job and shit, if I can't trust her to be calm and level-headed, then how am I going to go to this viewing with her crazy-ass family there?
Right. So the viewing was Saturday, right?
Right. 2 to 4 on Saturday.
And when did you get
I
to
went
it?
Sunday, 2:30 on Sunday.
Okay. So they just had a private thing for you?
Mm.
Did you go by yourself? Or?
Yeah. Well, I took Hannah with me.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah.
How was that hard?
Yeah. Because, I mean, first of all, there's nobody there but me and her. So we're just kind of standing there staring at, like, Katie's nasty, like, dirty, disgusting body because they didn't even wipe her ass down. And then we're just standing there. Like, I don't know what the fuck you say. I've been to a couple. I went to my own dad's viewing when I was like 15. I've seen people dead. I've fucking dealt with this shit before. And now there's nobody else there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind
There's
of
nobody else there.
awkward
Because
situation.
her family wants to be crazy about this shit. So I'm there by myself. I'm dealing with it by myself. I'm dragging her around because she's willing to be dragged around.
The detective gives John opportunities to express grief, especially when discussing the viewing. Instead, John describes Katie's body in cruel and degrading terms. The detective lets the moment sit because the contrast speaks for itself. This uses emotional congruence assessment, where investigators compare expected emotional reactions with a suspect's actual responses.
John ever take his cell phone out and take a picture of her?
No, he didn't.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
Or you can tell me. Some people do that.
Yeah, no, he never took a picture of her.
What did he say about her?
We got in the car and he was like, I don't understand why she was so dirty.
Mhm.
Because she had like dirt on her body still.
So while you were in that room, you two never talked at all?
Mm-mm. I kind of rubbed his back a little bit. I told him that it was okay, but other than that, we didn't really talk.
You've been able to go to work for the majority of it, I guess, or
Well, yeah, I've been going. I told him I don't want any time off because I don't do any work anyway. do admin shit anyway. So, and
plus you'll just sit there and go crazy probably. And,
right, I don't want to just sit at home, stare at the walls. I don't have family here.
yeah.
Crystal works until 3. Brandon works until like 2:33. So I don't want to just be alone.
Yeah. Does Hannah work or where she do?
She works in the mall. JCPenney's in the mall.
Now, does she live with you full time, or is it kind of?
It's on and off. She stays when she wants.
Okay. She lived with her parents otherwise?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So let's go to last Monday. You're working downtown.
Right.
At what time roughly did you leave work?
I don't.
And I'm not going to hold you to the exact minute because I know if you ask me what I did last Monday.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't normally just leave with Judy. So whenever it's always between 2 and 3. Whenever Judy leaves, that's when I'm out the door too. They really only got me there for her to keep her company.
Right.
Yeah.
So what'd you do when you left work?
I just went home, and then I got home, and recently I've been like running the trail behind the house because I hate wearing running shoes, and it gets my dog outside. So I take him out back and we run trails. So that day I went out, ran trails, and I went and sat by with this little spot and like watched fish fucking swim.
So there's a creek back there? Or something?
Yeah, same. I'm doing it a lot recently just because I quit drinking a few months ago, and it's really like helped me find out the kind of shit I like in life. So I just go back there and kind of hang out outside.
So your dog is Marley,
Mm-hmm.
which is a mix, or?
It's a yellow lab.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
Good dogs.
good family dog.
Was anybody home when you got home?
She's Crystal and Brandon.
Okay.
And I had her. She was supposed to go to the Sullivan Center that morning, so she was already with me because she's up there trying to get her GED.
Oh, Hannah was with you?
Yeah, she's the one who drove me home.
John now establishes his alibi, leaving work, going home, being with roommates. It sounds structured, but overly casual. In many interrogations, rehearsed timelines often appear relaxed because they've been mentally practiced.
So who are you dating?
I'm not dating anybody.
But if you look at your Facebook status, you just posted on Sunday that you're currently in the most amazing relationship ever or something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
So who was that relationship with on Sunday?
It was with John, but we're not like in a relationship. Like, we're not dating. I just have a good relationship with him.
What's the payment plan, or is he?
As you can get it, yeah. I didn't never expect to hear from him again. After he crashed my car, I stopped talking to him. I left his ass in Greer on the side of the road. Goodbye. Crashed my car, dude. You stole my car and then you crashed it, so I'm not talking to him. And that was like, I think it was a month or two ago. And then he just started calling me like last week and he's like, I'm in Greenville, I got money. I was like, okay, cool. Let me go get some money.
So you guys were in the Prius
Yeah.
that night? Okay. So he's just saying that he's staying with some old lady somewhere around?
Yeah, in Greenville. I just know it's in Greenville. I know he's local because I've seen him like 2 or 3 more times.
Okay. That night, somebody says you and Hannah were putting some trash from a bag, like a trash bag in the back of the Prius.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember doing that?
Oh, yeah.
What was that about?
Marley had like the most explosive shit on the floor and stunk up the whole house. I fucking had to throw out like 4 towels. It was disgusting. And then Crystal left it for me to clean up. So, because it was like watery, nasty, I had to get like 3 or 4 towels to clean it up, plus the Swiffer, plus like dump bleach on the floor. So, yeah, it was pretty nasty.
Okay. So why'd you put it in the car?
To take it.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, our trash is always filled up. We used to have this entertainment center. I just chopped it up, so it was like the trash can was full.
So you took that when you went to go to Zaxby's? Or?
Yeah, we were just gonna throw it out on the way.
Okay.
Just a dumpster.
All right. Do you have your phone with you that night?
Probably. Yeah. Let's see why not.
I mean, you normally do.
Yeah, I normally do. I normally have my phone. Unless I'm going out with Martha, I have my phone.
Right.
Or I'm going hiking or something like that, I take my phone. Or leaving the car at least.
Do you ever turn your phone off during the day or at nighttime?
Only if it dies. Only if it dies out.
The abandoned house is introduced, and John immediately downplays his connection to it. But notice the shift. The moment this location comes up, he becomes cautious, even asking about legal representation.
Monday night at some point before you went out, you guys carried out a bag of trash to your car, or to his car, right?
I don't remember.
So you don't recall carrying out a trash bag or him cleaning anything up,
Mm-mm.
having to put stuff in the trash?
No, sir.
Okay.
Now, a couple of questions. When we notified you that Wednesday morning, at work, myself and the bigger black fellow from the coroner's office, you never asked us, what had happened to Katie or how she died. Is there any reason where you?
Yeah, I've explained this to a few people because like 20 people asked me that day what happened.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's nothing that could bring me.
So you didn't really want to know?
Yeah, there's nothing that information would bring me in the moment. Like I said, I've experienced death. And
in the military, mean?
Yeah, and that's never really done shit for me to know. A good friend of mine, a lieutenant, was stabbed after he got out in the military. He was overseas in the Middle East for school. He was stabbed to death. Him and his wife were stabbed to death. That brought me no comfort finding that out. Knowing he was dead, I just had a friend recently kill himself, and I still don't know, and I still don't want to know. It doesn't matter, because that's the end state.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. They're already dead. And how they died means nothing to me.
Okay.
So, and that's how I've been.
But probably seeing people, being in the military and seeing people die, probably gives you that outlook. So,
yeah.
When was the last time you saw Katie face to face? And
I know.
And I'm not worried about this restraining order thing. Trust me, that's the least of our worries.
The last time I saw her was Cheyenne had a doctor's appointment, and Katie was there with her at the doctor.
Okay.
And I just coincidentally had a doctor's appointment at the same exact office. I just switched over to a new doctor, and they were leaving as I was checking out.
When asked why he was searching for Katie, John claims it was for her niece, not for his wife, not out of concern, but as a favor. That emotional disconnect is subtle, but incredibly revealing.
And he ran from me, he ran away from me.
Is there any physical evidence that we're either going to find in that abandoned house, on Katie's body, or on any of her clothing, or in her car that is going to link you to her death?
I don't believe so, no. Definitely not.
And you understand DNA evidence it's the new thing.
100%.
It's not new, but it's okay. And it's pretty accurate.
Seems cold case files, all that kind of stuff.
Right, yeah. So I just don't want to have to go back in a couple weeks when we get all these results and say, well, John said there ain't no way this could have happened. But so if you did get together last week and have sex or go take the dog for a walk, and that's how your, hair could have gotten in her car or something like that, then we need to know that now so we don't have to explain it later.
Yeah, I understand.
So there should be nothing on her body from you.
Right.
Is that fair to say?
That's fair to say.
Okay. So no hairs, no touch DNA.
I can't imagine.
Okay. Because you understand, if I touch Investigator Manley's hand, and they come and swab her hand, they're going to get my DNA off.
Right, fingerprints, sweat.
Right, and that stuff can't be denied. It's as accurate as a fingerprint.
Yeah.
Your DNA profile. So I just want to make sure that we're not going to get any surprises.
Right. Yeah.
And these DNA tests take time. It's not like it is on CSI.
It's not CSI.
I wish it was.
You don't put it in a computer and
Exactly. So.
left and right.
But I've had cases before where we've asked somebody something and they said, nope, absolutely not. And then we do get results that match them. And they're like, oh, well, there was this time that such and such. So we have to, eliminate all that now.
Right. Honestly.
Detectives remind John this is a homicide investigation. His response? He focuses on Facebook posts and what others are saying about him. Again, his concern isn't Katie. It's his own image.
Is there any reason you and Charles were talking a lot that evening?
Yeah, because that's the night that he was here. That's the night he was available. So that's the night I needed my shit.
So you'll be on video at Zaxby's meeting him and eating?
I was eating. He was in Zaxby's, yeah.
All right, so you guys will both be on video?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What time was that roughly?
I don't know. Whatever time you said earlier.
Well, you said it was dark?
Yeah, it was dark.
Okay, so dark is about 7-ish or so?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's the Zaxby's on Fairview Road?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just to help us remember to find you, do you remember what you're wearing?
Oh, hell no. I normally wear jeans and a long sleeve or I can tell you where I sit now. It's right next to the drink machine.
Okay.
So.
And Hannah was in there with you?
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be white guy, white girl, black guy.
Mm-hmm.
So he did sit down.
You know what he looks like? He's light-skinned. He's
Yeah.
got a ratty-ass mustache, shaved head. Not shaved, bald, but short.
Okay.
And he normally wears a Baltimore hat. He's got a Baltimore Ravens hat. But I'm pretty sure I could get him. Well, he probably ain't gonna come up here because he's trying to duck and dodge y'all anyway.
Why is that?
Because he thinks he has a warrant for his arrest because he's an idiot. And I told him, call some people and find out, but he refuses to listen to reason.
Man, usually if you got a warrant, you turn yourself in, they'll work with you a little bit.
That's what I told him because when he took my car, I had to report the shit stolen because he crashed it. And I didn't tell him to take it.
Right.
So to me, that's stolen. So I had to do that. And they, I had to press charges on him so I could get the insurance to pay for my car. So,
okay.
I think he's like ducking and dodging right now.
Detectives first made John repeat the Monday night timeline. Scott, Zaxby's, Hannah, the Prius, and the trash bags. They're not just asking for information. They're making him commit to details. This uses commitment theory, where every fixed answer becomes harder to change later without appearing deceptive.
On your way to Zaxby's, you said you dropped the bag of trash off.
Mhm.
Where'd you dump it at?
I don't know. Probably. I think it was an apartment complex. Because they have the big dumpsters.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the exact location though.
Like down Harrison Bridge? I'm talking about.
Yeah, like Waterton and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I think I don't remember. It was a long day.
Okay.
So
And then where did you go after Zaxby's?
I think I just went home.
With Hannah?
Yeah.
And where'd
I
Scott
might
go?
have taken her home. I think I took her back to her parents' house. And then I just went home. I don't hang out with that dude. It's not. So.
Now, some people said that car that they identified as Katie's was seen pulling into your driveway around 5 o'clock that Monday.
Crystal told me that, yeah.
Okay.
The detective says somebody says John and Hannah were putting trash bags in a Prius. This hints at witness evidence without revealing how much police know. John explains it as dog waste. This reflects information gap pressure, where suspects often rush to fill uncertainty with an explanation.
After we ate, we went home
Okay.
and we just watched TV.
You remember what time you went home?
Probably around 9.
Who all went to your house with you?
It was just me and John.
Okay.
This Scott fellow, what were you meeting him for?
I don't know. He said he had to talk to John about something, and then they met up. I was in the car, yeah.
Oh, you never went inside?
Well, no. After we went inside, he met us out in the parking lot, and I just was in the car, and John went over to his car and talked to him for a minute.
Okay. Do you remember talking to Cheyenne at all on Tuesday?
That's the day Cheyenne stay the night. Yeah.
Oh, so she spent the night with you on Tuesday night? Okay.
I'm trying to think because I'm getting like Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday all spun up because I don't remember those days very well. I was really fucked up last week. Like my head was gone. I couldn't concentrate on shit. And I wasn't sleeping. So I'm just thinking, I think Tuesday her and Kimani came and spent the night. I think it was Tuesday.
And that was after everybody knew that Katie was missing?
I think, yeah.
When did you catch when that Katie was missing? Was it when
Cheyenne called me.
That was before
Mm-hmm.
Moorcraft came and talked to you? And that was Monday, right?
Uh-huh.
Monday?
No, Tuesday afternoon.
Tuesday?
Tuesday afternoon, you came to the house?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Tuesday morning at 1:30 in the morning, Cheyenne called me, said, "Have you heard from Katie?" And obviously it's 1:30 in the morning, so I said, "No, go away, I'm sleeping." And then I talked to Cheyenne like throughout the day. Katie's missing, and then I was like, "Well, do you want to come stay and like we can like."
When detectives ask why John never asked how Katie died, they are testing grief. His answer is detached and clinical. This connects to effective forecasting theory, because investigators compare how a grieving husband would normally respond versus how John actually responds.
Cheyenne told you that
That one of her family members.
found the phone?
Yeah.
And what happened at the house at Scuffletown?
We knocked on the door and said, "Do you know Katie?" And he was like, "No." So I'm like, "Okay, bye." And her car wasn't there, nothing like that, so we left.
Did you look anywhere else?
It was late by that point, so we just kind of went home. And then I asked her if she could stay because I was, at that point, her mom put up that Facebook message with all my information on there. So I asked Cheyenne if she could stay with me, just as like a peace of mind. It's just to ease my mind because I figured nobody's gonna fuck with me if they think Cheyenne's here too. So I had Cheyenne come stay. She left in the middle of the night. I think that was Tuesday. It was Tuesday.
And you said Kamani spent the night too, so was he searching with you that night too?
Yeah, he was in the car too.
And did you ever think to check the abandoned house that night?
Cheyenne told me she already checked it. She told me she had been there and she already checked it. So I was like, well, fuck it then.
And what time did you and Cheyenne meet up that night? Do you remember?
It must have been after he came to the house. So I don't know.
Because he came there around 4:30ish.
It was probably soon after.
And did she just come to your house, or did you meet up with her somewhere else? Or
She was working. She was at work, and that's when so it had to be 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, because she was at work, and I went to go see her at work, and I was gonna try and get a table in her section, so I just could see her and talk to her. And when I got there, they said that she was getting off. So then me, Kimani, and Hannah went to Sonic, ate some food or whatever, and waited for Cheyenne. Then she came, and we were like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? So we took Kimani to home to get some clothes. She walked home to get some clothes. And then when she came back, that's when she was like, my aunt, I think she said, found her phone on Scuffletown Road. She's like, I have the address. And I was like, let's go.
The abandoned house questions test how much John knows about the crime scene. Parking, rooms, stairs, basement access. Each answer reveals familiarity. This reflects cognitive mapping theory, where a person's mental map can expose prior presence or involvement.
The AFI and other investigators have conducted multiple interviews with friends, family, and acquaintances of the victim and her estranged husband, John Tufton Blauvelt. These interviews have yielded multiple statements in which the interviewees stated John Blauvelt has made comments about his desire to kill the victim and his plan to hide her body in the house located at 817 Southeast Main Street. The AFI also has recorded statements from witnesses who say John Blauvelt had approached them and offered them monetary compensation for assisting him in murdering the victim and offering him an alibi by using his cell phone, debit cards, and vehicle in another city to make it appear as if he was not in the area at the time of the victim's death. The AFN has also compiled police reports from the Fountain Police Department that show John Blauvelt was arrested in February 2016 for domestic violence first degree, where he was alleged to have pointed a gun at the victim. And threatened her life. John Blauvelt had a pending criminal charge that if he was found guilty would most likely result in his discharge from the U.S. Army, where he's employed full-time. Blauvelt has made statements to multiple persons about the existence of a life insurance policy he holds on the victim for between $100,000 and $150,000, in which he is the beneficiary. The AFN has obtained recorded statements from witnesses that state the victim's vehicle was driven to the residence of John Blauvelt at 10 South Kings Drive in Fountain Inn, South Carolina on 10/24/16 at 4:56 p.m. This is the day the victim disappeared and was last seen alive. The witnesses described the driver as someone other than the victim and state that the driver was wearing a black jacket with the hood pulled over. The witnesses stated 15 minutes after the victim's vehicle pulled out from the residence, John Blauvelt came up from the backyard sweating profusely and was wearing a black hooded jacket similar to the one of the person driving the victim's vehicle.
The life insurance questions widen the motive from jealousy to financial benefit. Detectives do not accuse him directly. They let him explain the policy himself. This uses attribution theory, guiding the audience and investigators to connect behavior, motive, and outcome.
Blauvelt did not have a shirt on underneath the jacket and claimed to have been running. The victim's vehicle was later located at 335 White Horse Road in Greenville, South Carolina, at a strip shopping center. Video surveillance from the area shows the vehicle being dropped off on 10/24/2016 at approximately 6:15 p.m. The second vehicle pulls up with the victim's vehicle, and it matches the description of John Blauvelt's 2007 gold Toyota Prius. The second vehicle drives off after approximately 5 minutes with the driver of the victim's vehicle. Cell phone records from John Blauvelt's phone number, 856-419-3312, obtained from AT&T, place his phone in the area of 335 White Horse Road at the time the victim's vehicle was dropped off. It is the AFIN's belief, based upon the aforementioned evidence, that the 2007 Toyota Prius belonging to John Blauvelt contains evidence related to the death of Catherine Blauvelt. Okay, do you have any questions about the wording of that warrant?
Do you have to take the car? You were going to take my car?
Yes.
Fuck. All right. No, I got no questions.
Okay, all right, that's a copy of that warrant.
Yes, sir.
You want me to read the all that for these two, or do they all say the same thing?
It's all basically the same. Do you want her to read these warrants too? You're going to get copies of them.
That's all for the swabs.
Yeah, for the swabs and the
cell
cell phone. Do you want me to read out the probable cause section, just like he was?
If it's the same shit, then you're good.
It is. Having heard the affidavits,
Yes, sir.
and the evidence that is mentioned in those, do you want, is there anything you want to say?
No, sir.
Okay.
Near the end, detectives stacked the strongest points together. phone pings, Zaxby's, Katie's car, trash disposal, Scott, Hannah, and the house. This creates a tightening effect where John has less room to move. This follows cognitive constraint theory, where multiple fixed facts reduce the suspect's ability to invent new explanations. After 2 damaging interrogations, John and Hannah were released while detectives processed his phone and car. But instead of waiting, they ran. Within days, John was considered AWOL from the Army and wanted in connection with Katie's murder. He and Hannah drove across the country, appearing on camera in New Mexico, more than 1,000 miles from Simpsonville, before vanishing again. Eventually, their escape carried them into Oregon, where John's military background helped him stay hidden, but not comfortably. His vehicle became stuck on a remote trail, forcing the pair to hike toward Medford with no money and no real plan. The fantasy of life on the run quickly collapsed. Hannah contacted police, desperate to return home. Years later, Hannah finally gave detectives the detail they needed.
Hannah, I'm gonna ask you a question, okay? And I need you to tell me the truth about this one particular question, okay? What kind of conversations did you have with John before Katie had disappeared that involved hurting Katie or doing anything to Katie? Not you, but John. What did John say to you prior to this Monday about Katie disappearing or dying or getting hurt or any of that?
Nothing. Because I had thought that, like, they were talking, and we never talked about her. He never brought her up or anything because he knew that it made me upset to, like, think about, like, her, and we just never talked about her. That's why it was so, like, crazy to me, because he had gone so long without talking to her, and then that just happened, you know, out of nowhere to me.
Why was it so significant to meet up with Katie and drink with her and talk about her boyfriend just to tell her that you guys were dating, when he was talking to her through other means of communication such as Snapchat or Facebook or text messages?
I just think he's, like, really bad about holding grudges and, like, getting revenge on people, and I feel like he just kind of wanted to, like, see her face and, like, make her cry, you know?
Where did the knife come from?
I don't know. I don't know.
Did John ever tell you? What did he tell you about killing Katie?
He just said that, like, it was really, like, bloody. I told him I didn't want him to talk about it anymore. Because, like, he didn't even, like, feel bad after the fact.
Why do you say that?
He never cried about it or anything, like, he just acted like it never happened. And that's why he would get mad at me if I started crying about it.
When did he tell you that it was really bloody?
In the car.
Car when?
Like in the Yukon when we were, like, going to California.
Well, what else did he say before you told him to stop talking about it?
No, he told me that the knife broke. He just said that his handle broke.
After fleeing with John, she admitted they had secretly stayed in contact while he rebuilt his life in Medford, Oregon under a new identity. He was no longer John Blauvelt. He was Ben, living with a girlfriend, pets, and working as a handyman. To everyone around him, he looked ordinary. But behind that new name was a fugitive wanted for Katie's murder. When police finally arrived at his door, even his girlfriend was stunned. Hannah's delayed truth helped expose the life John had been hiding for 6 years. John Tufton Blauvelt was ultimately convicted of murdering his estranged wife, Catherine Kata Blauvelt, and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Court TV reported that after a jury found him guilty, the judge immediately imposed the life without parole sentence. CBS News 48 Hours also reported that the trial lasted 4 days. The jury deliberated for about 5 hours, and Blauvelt received life without parole after the guilty verdict. Hannah Thompson, who was 17 when she fled with him, was not convicted of murder. CBS reported that she later pleaded guilty to obstruction of justice and misprision of a felony and received 3 years of probation.